Yo, what's up? What's up? Yo, man, that was a long ride, boy. Made it up here to the transplant. I just wanted to do a little quick video, just kind of show y'all things around here, show y'all what it looked like. This transplant center is near Charlotte, North Carolina. I'll show y'all the sign. I just took a picture of it. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna do that. Let me spin it around. This the sign. This what it looked like right here. This is one of the buildings that she got to go in. But we're going to be all over this place today. We're going to be here all day. You look, give you the view. A little bit of the view. You got buildings down here, buildings down there. All over here. Up there. We're going to be all around this place. Going to different parts. And I wanted to come on here and talk about something real quick. It's been a journey. It's been a long journey. Go ahead, I'll be out here. It's been a long journey. And through this journey, it's been a lot of ups and a lot of downs. And I'm looking at things and I'm realizing how blessed we are. This is part of the area over here. There's a lot of hills. It's a lot of hills, ups and downs, hills down here. A lot of in this area is a lot of traffic lights too. Jeez, it's like we was getting stopped at every single traffic light. What's that? Oh, that's my nephew leaving a message, sending prayers. But yeah, I just wanted to we early, we got some time, so I just wanted to kind of show y'all some stuff, and just let you know throughout the day I'll be posting little things, little clips that we come across, just to let y'all know how it is. Now, this journey for Jolie has been a long one. This inside info. Wait a minute. What they say? You gotta go in the building? Oh, you can go in there now? They'll let you in there? Okay. All right, I'll be in there in a minute. Yeah, we're here early, but they're gonna see her early. That's good. Listen, let me just give y'all a little quick breakdown. I wanted to talk about friendship. I want to talk about people that God put in your life, right? I met Jolie years ago, and you know, we were always friends. Like, I've been friends with that family for a long time. I met her dad first when I was taking care of my dad, and he was what they call a hack. It's sort of like a cab driver. And me and my father met him because I didn't have a car, and he was taking us around. You know, we'd pay him and he'd take us around or whatever. And we became cool, like, because for months we had been doing that up until my father passed away. He even came to my father's funeral. Well, the strange thing is, and I probably mentioned this, I don't know if I did on this channel, but what happened was, my mom called me one day and wanted me to pick up my nephew from the babysitter. And I was like, okay. So I went to pick up my nephew from the babysitter. And at that point, that's where I met Jolie's mom. But I didn't know all of this. I met her mom, the sweetest woman you could ever meet. I'm telling you, I promise you. God rest her soul. Like, that was one of the best, right? And, you know, first thing, she offered me something to eat as soon as I come in the door. Like, I had to sit there and wait for my mom to get there. So, you know, she offered something to eat. Food was good. I'm chilling. We having conversation. And then Jolie, she came in from work, and her mom introduced us. It's like, hey, how you doing? It was nothing. It was no love at first sight or nothing like that. She had a man, and I had a woman. I wasn't even looking at her like that, and she definitely wasn't looking at me like that. So, but to me, at first sight, to me, she seemed like a little bit standoffish, like somebody that kind of stayed to herself. Like, she spoke to everybody, and she just walked on through, went on, upstairs to her room or whatever. So it was nothing. So as I'm sitting there, that's when her father comes in the door, and I was like, Joe, what you doing here? He's like, what you doing here? He said, I live here. I said, I come to pick up my nephew, Marquise. It's crazy. I didn't even realize that her mom was the babysitter for my nephew. And I've been knowing him. I had been knowing her father for a good while, probably going on 2 years. I've been knowing her father, right? So I'm like, wow. So, um, time went along. We made plans to move down here to North Carolina. Me and my family, we made plans. We was coming down here looking for houses and stuff like that. The town that we moved in, we wasn't supposed to be there. I wanted to move somewhere with a basketball team at, so I can go to the basketball games, which is right here in this area, Charlotte. That's why I wanted to move. Anyway, turned out they ended up moving down here. They moved before us. They moved down here to this little town down here because Jolie's uncle lived down in this town. So they moved down to be closer to him. So I helped them, load the truck up and get the stuff on the road or whatever like that. So shortly after that, my mom, she retired and she moved down. And me and my family, like, we still was making plans. Like, we still had a lease. We was making plans. And it wasn't to go move in with my mom. We was making plans to go buy a house down here, and So, so what happened was, my mom called, probably after about 6 months of being down here. She called talking about she was having a hard time and was struggling. And I'm like, dang, you just got down there. So me being a mama's boy that I was, I packed my family up and we came on down and moved in with my mom to help her get our stuff together and get back on her feet. Instead of going in a direction that I was supposed to be going at as a man, as a leader of my house, I took my family and moved in with my mom. I'll talk to y'all later about that. Actually, you look on YouTube's Finders, you'll find out, you can see where I talked about mama's boy syndrome. I had to grow with some stuff. And for that lesson also, I had to grow and learn some things before I got a chance to be with Jolie. Because if I hadn't learned some lessons that I learned, then, the relationship wouldn't be as successful as it is. So it took me. I had to go through some stuff. So anyway, so what happened? So I moved down here with my mom. And after moving down here with my mom, I started having problems with the relationship that I was in because she didn't want to be at my mom's house, and deep down, she didn't want to be down in North Carolina. She just never told me. She just was going along with, how I felt about things. So the relationship wound up breaking up. She wound up taking my kids and moving back to Baltimore. That was terrible. That was a terrible time in my life. It was a heartbreaking time because there was some other stuff that went down along with it. Like, that was a real, real terrible time in my life. But at that point, like I said, Jolie and her mom and father, her sister, all of us was friends. So I'm crying and they comforted me. They comforted me. They let me know, it's going to be okay and this and that and the other. So it took some time after after like a year, almost a year. I started getting my stuff together because I went into depression, all that stuff. Man, I went and bought me some clothes, got my stuff together, fixed myself up, and I said, you know what? I'm getting back out here. And sure enough, I ain't fronting. Like, they was coming. The girls was coming from everywhere. Like, I really had cleaned myself up and got myself together. But I wasn't just out here just trying to be with no anybody like that. I don't roll like that. That's not how I am. But anyway, uh, so as time went along, like I really, I really liked Jolie. But Jolie had a boyfriend that was incarcerated, and she was waiting for him to come home. And I respected that. So I wound up meeting somebody, and we got together for a while, and I wound up having a son. And that relationship was a joke, but I thank God for my son. Meanwhile, I'm still friends. I'm still friends with them and the family and everything, right? So I should have been walking and talking and showing y'all some of this stuff on me. I don't want to go too far because they might call her back. But anyway, so so what happened? So um, we wound up breaking up. I wound up being single for a while. And one day I asked her. I said, how about us, go out on a date or something. She's like, nah, because she knew me. She felt, we was friends, and then she knew the girl that I was dealing with, with my kids' mom, and she felt like it wouldn't be right. She didn't wasn't friends with them, but she, been around them. So I was like, okay. So shortly after, her man got out of jail, and he got out of jail, and I should be letting her tell her story, but I'm going to tell this part because it's part of my story. So he got out of jail, and um, he was on something else, and they wound up ending it. Well, she wound up ending it because he wasn't on the same page that she was on anymore. Like, he was on other stuff. So, and she had enough love for herself that she wasn't gonna put up with no nonsense after waiting. Listen, this is the only woman that I ever known and met that waited that long period of time. She waited over 5 years for this guy. And I'm telling you, I was going to the family's house all the time, and she would just work and come back home, work, come back home. Every once in a while, she'd go out with her co-workers or whatever like that, but she really was holding it down for this guy. And anyway, so tragically, they had broke it off, but about 2 months later, she got the word that he was somebody had took him out. And of course, she still had love for him, so of course she reacted. She was upset, she was hurt. They broke up, but she didn't want nothing to happen to him. But so that was a process, and I was there for her, helping her. Like, she was my friend, and I cared. Like, I cared what she was going through. You know what I'm saying? So, we you know, we all just chilled together as a family. Like, we didn't get together behind it or nothing like that. I just was there to encourage her, and she was there to encourage me. Like, you know. So one day, what got us together? One day we sitting there. It was us and her mom and dad. And her mom said, y'all two young single people, why y'all sitting around here? Won't y'all go out on a date? And I was like, I don't care. Hey, I wanted to anyway, but I was respecting, her, and her, how she felt or whatever. So she was like, okay. So she goes out, we go out, we went to Fridays. We went out to Fridays, and we had a good time talking. We already knew each other. Like we really knew each other because like we been friends. We was friends. You know, we was talking. So it was easy. The conversation was easy. Before I know it, we ended up together in a relationship, and it's been it's been about 16, 17 years now. But the thing is, I realized that God sent her for me. And she realized, wait a minute, she called me. Yo, I'm gonna hit y'all back on another live. I appreciate y'all coming and joining, all right? Love, peace, and blessings. I'll let y'all know what's going on next. All right, I'm out.